Hello guys, it's RCM and we're back again with our third tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to show you how to deal with the database. Yep, we are entering into the most serious part of the coding, and that's called database. In this tutorial we are going to show you how to store data in the database, and that means that the visitor of your website will enter some data and you will store that data in the database. Okay, let's get started now. We are taking a label and just name it LVL name and write it here, enter name, and now let's take a text box and name it txt name. Now let's take a button. We are taking just one value for this demonstration purpose. You can have like multiple values, like you can have password, age, and school, and marital status, anything, whatever you want. Now just set it to btn, submit, and change its text to submit. Now let's do the backend work. You can add a database by coming to your solution explorer from this sidebar and just right click here and click add new item. Now you can choose this SQL Server database. If you want to change the name, then you can just change it, otherwise leave it as it is and click on add. It will now ask you that do you want to have another folder for database called app data, and click yes. It will add another folder and will store your database in this folder. In few seconds we will get our database. Let's count 3, 2, 1, and we got it. If you want to come here database, then you can just come on your server explorer. Remember, this is the database that we have just created. You can just come over here and right click and click add new table, and now here you can add field names. We want to store a name, so let's have a field called name and choose its data type as varchar 50, as this 50 is the character length, as we are assuming that you don't have a name longer than 50 characters. And then just make a primary key. Remember, primary key is a key which retrieves records from the database uniquely. Like if you have a registration page, then many users will register there on your website. So for each user a separate row, or what we call a record, is generated. So when you have to retrieve that record, you have to retrieve it uniquely, so it doesn't mess with your other register members of your website. So for that purpose we make a primary key. Let's say here we have it called ID. If you are making a student portal, then you can have SID, that's student ID. If you are making a products website, then you can have PID, products ID, anything, the name doesn't matter. Okay, so this time we will have it as integer type, as we want this field to auto increment. So we want it integer, as you cannot increment character values. So just come over here on identity specification and choose yes here, see, and just leave it identity increment. This is like for the incrementation, like if the first ID is 1, then if another user registers, then he will get an ID of 2, and third will get third. So it will auto increment by +1 by incrementing the current store by +1. and identity seed is the starting value where you want to start from. If you put it here 5, then the first registered member will get his ID as 6. So it's for the starting position, and it's for incrementing it by 1 or whatever you want. You can change it from here, but for professional use, just leave it as default. Now come here and select right click here and select set primary key. Now this is your primary key. Note this should not be null here, as primary key should not have null values, as it will we will require it for identifying the records uniquely. Okay, now just come over here and click save table. You can name your table, like we are naming it RCM TECHNO, and click OK. That's it. Now you can just close it. Now for retrieving purposes, in .NET 1.1 or older versions, we have to do it by writing a lot of code, but from the versions for 3.5 and later versions, we have a very awesome facility, and that's called link queue. We are going to that right now. You can just right click on your on this location and click add new item, and this time we are going to add a link queue to SQL classes. Again, if you want to change the name, then you can, otherwise leave it as it is, and then click on add. Now it will ask you to make a new folder, app_code. If you want a new folder, then click yes, otherwise no, but it's good to keep link queue files in a separate folder so you can find them very easily. So now this is our link queue. You don't have to do much here. Just come on your Server Explorer. This is your table, if you remember. See, this is the table we have just created. Now all you have to do is just click here and drag it here, as simple as that, and then just click on save. So this dbml file is saved. Say it's saved now. But just remember, if you make any changes to your table, then you have to delete this table by selecting it and hitting the delete key, and you have to drag it again from here to this link queue file. So please remember that if you make any changes, then you have to import the database again here. Now just close it, and on the submit button, double click it. Okay guys, we have to stop the recording here as we are limited by the video length. Please check out the part 2 tutorial of this tutorial. Thanks.